Once a year, I have the honor of spending the day with my good friend, President and CEO of Chicanos por la Causa, David Adame. It's always an educational and inspiring experience, and I never fail to be amazed by the multitude of ways Cplc is working to help others all over the country. It's a good news show that I'm excited to share today on Su Vida. Hey everybody, welcome to Su Vida. I'm JR Cardenas. Vanessa has the day off, which gives the opportunity for David Adame, President and CEO of Cplc, to be my co-host today. I'm very excited for you to be here today, sir.
Thank you, JR. Always a pleasure.
You know, the excitement comes because it gives us an opportunity to showcase what Cplc is doing here and how fast it's growing nationwide.
Absolutely. It's been an exciting year. We're growing so fast. We're now in 5 states here in the United States: California, Texas, Nevada, New Mexico, and of course Arizona. But we're also in the country of Mexico, and we're now on the island of Puerto Rico. That's exciting.
One of the areas where Cplc continues to make an impact is education. Let's talk about that.
One of the ways we grow is we add new organizations or new affiliates into the Cplc familia. And one of the exciting ones was Florence Crittenton. And I'm also especially excited about that because they also have the Girls Leadership Academy, which is a charter school supporting young women in order to empower them in education.
It's an amazing organization. Let's learn more about it. Take a look.
At Florence Crittenton, we became affiliated with Cplc back in October of 2021, which is hugely wonderful to the organization, to our community, because we now have wider reach, we have great support in our partners, and just the family that Chicanos por la Causa has built for Florence Crittenton. And coming up actually this year in October, we will be 126 years old, so the second oldest nonprofit in Arizona. In our Central Phoenix location, we service girls who are ages 10 to 17, who will just be about 18, with any sort of behavioral health supports and services, coping skills. They can come to us for a variety of reasons. It could be suicide attempts, mental health needs, substance abuse, really trauma of any type. We support, we treat through our therapeutic interventions in a residential setting, meaning we support them 24 hours a day for as long as they need it to help them move back into the community and then be a part of the community successfully. In our Scottsdale location, we have another group home where we support young moms and pregnant teens, really give them the supports and services that they need to be independent in their living and able to raise a healthy, happy baby and family. So when our girls are at our behavioral health residential facility, they learn coping skills. Maybe it's familial issues, maybe it's substance abuse, maybe it's gang activity. So they're learning how to cope and use those skills so that they can practice them here in a safe environment that we provide for them, so that they can practice using those and then move back into the community where they're able to stay substance free. They can stay in school. They can have supportive and engaging interactions and conversations and regular supports in the community. Here at Florence Crittenton, we have our volunteer program, and Miss Darlene is one of our greatest volunteers. She's very dedicated. Darlene gives them a sense of normalcy. She gives them laughter. She gives them joy, and she gives them a sense of something that's different instead of just living in a residential setting.
The thing that inspires me to come here on Sundays are the girls, knowing that they want me here. We started what we call Birthday Bash, and it's all the girls who have a birthday that month. They get a present, everybody gets cake and ice cream. We play a game, they get prizes, so it's like their own little birthday party. We sit there and start playing, and that makes me happy and it makes them happy. For some, it might be the only excitement they have that week. After 45 years, I'm not giving up on this place. I'll still be coming for a lot longer, I hope. But they need some young people, like a big sister, like I started as. If there's volunteers out there or people thinking, what could I do? The first step is to come here.
Learn about how you can make an impact in this community through the girls in our programs, whether that be donating your time, donating money, or partnering with us in something really cool in our community. That would be the best thing for our girls, for their future, to really give that safety, hope, and opportunity that we work for them every single day.
David, I'm very familiar with this organization, and I'm very happy that you guys are helping them out.
We're super excited. This is a 90-year-old organization. Chicanos por la Causa is only 53 years old, so we're inheriting a group that made double the amount of years of impact in our community. So we're excited because we're going to be able to empower young women through all their services, including their charter school, to make sure they have a fair shot at the American dream.
And education is just one of the areas where CPLC continues to make a difference. Stay tuned because David and I will be back with more Su Vida right after this.
Su Vida is brought to you by Chicanos por la Causa. Join the cause for change.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Su Vida. I'm with David Adame and Joe Garcia. Guys, we're kind of where it all started here at Santa Rita. Let's talk a little bit about this place.
Yes, this is an exciting place. It's the birthplace of Chicanos por la Causa. We were connected with Cesar Chavez, and this is where Cesar Chavez did his second major fast to help the community, and we're very proud to be launching it from this great. We're making an investment to bring it back so there could be an education center and be an historic landmark for our community.
So Joe, tell me a little bit about your role for the community and Latino Loud.
Yeah, with Latino Loud, we're out reaching the Latino voters like never before. When we're all said and done, we'll have knocked on 800,000 doors to tell people the importance of voting. Thanks to our crews that we have across the state, we're also sending 4 million mailers to remind people to vote. We have digital media up, billboards, ads, and so forth. And we're a big registration drive too. So everything is working on all cylinders to get the Latino vote out, not just this election, but all elections going forward.
Political advocacy is one of the founding pillars of Chicanos por la Causa, and of course, that didn't end with Cesar Chavez. Whenever there's an election, we all have a responsibility to make our voices heard.
We're here to announce the launch of an unprecedented commitment by Chicanos por la Causa and its sister advocacy nonprofit organization, Cplc Action Fund. Register and get out the vote campaign for Arizona.
Chicanos por la Causa and Chicanos por la Causa Action Fund is very pleased to announce this investment in our community. An investment of $10 million, this is historic. An investment like that means that we'll finally be able to reach out to every voter. We'll have the resources to deliver a message about the importance of registering to vote, about the importance of coming out to vote on election day.
We have our destiny in our hands when it comes to elections. You know, we are a big part of this state. We're about 30% plus population of the state, but yet we don't participate in the voting. And to me, voting is one of the most precious rights you have as a U.S. citizen. And so if we can harness that vote, we can control our destiny. Chicanos por la Causa is launching a great initiative, and we can make a difference in state elections, city elections, county elections. So that's what we're all about, making sure we have a seat at the table, we have a voice, and we're not being ignored. So this fits right into our mission, but what better investment can you do than to invest in your own community? That's what Chicanos por la Causa is all about. Our mission is to drive economic and political empowerment.
When you take the voice of our community and amplify it at the voting polls, and who gets elected, that truly creates change. And that change starts with registering people to vote. The very first voter registration drive in the history of our community, created through Cesar Chavez in this community. This was the first time I was introduced to Chicanos por la Causa. I was just a young man, and it was very successful. And little did we know that 50 years later, this organization, the difference that it's making, particularly when you consider what they're reinvesting in the community to make sure that people get out to vote.
Chicanos por la Causa's investment in the community means that we're going to be able to also collaborate with other community partners who work every day to engage voters. We're going to finally have a collaborative effort with the resources behind it to move forward and to get out that Latino vote.
Chicanos por la Causa, you're going to change that culture. Chicanos por la Causa is going to contact people and get them out to vote. And once they taste that victory, once they taste that my vote made a difference, and I really have a say, I have a voice. Chicanos por la Causa, congratulations.
You know, we can't overemphasize how important it is to go out and vote this November, David.
Absolutely, and that's why we made the commitment and the investment to make sure that our community gets educated, understands why it's so important to vote. Si votamos, ganamos, and we need to make sure we win and everybody wins. So we need to make sure that the Latino Loud campaign is successful. And
how loud is the campaign?
Si se vota!
We can make change happen, but only if we get out and vote. Stay tuned, because when we come back, we'll travel to Uvalde, Texas, to visit an early childhood development program that's helping smiles return to some young faces. Welcome back to a very special Su Vida. Today we're hanging out with the President and CEO of Cplc, David Adame. Now David, earlier we got a chance to see a very impressive Girls Academy, but your commitment to education starts way before that in the Head Start program.
No, absolutely. Education is the core of Chicanos por la Causa. We're committed to this early childhood development program, ECD, Head Start, and we're sitting in one of our 50 locations we have throughout the Southwest, including Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. Families trust us to take care of their little ones, 3,000 individuals that we take care of on a daily basis. So we're committed to this. It's important that we provide the great life skills for them so they can grow up to take on the world for us. They're the next generation.
I can't think of any other children than those in Uvalde, Texas that can benefit from this support. Let's take a look at this.
The Uvalde Migrant and Seasonal Head Start Center has been here for at least 26 years. ECD stands for Early Childhood Development. The first 5 years of a child's life are the most important years for the foundation of who they are, how they learn, how we can assess and support them. And what we do is we educate, create family goals, look at health and nutrition and development. We have curriculum, we have parent curriculum, we have child curriculum, we have curriculum for the bus, we provide transportation. And so we really get the child and the family that comes with them, we get them ready for school and life. That's what we do.
So right after the incident, the families were coming to us and saying, I need the help. I myself am dealing with anxiety. I myself am dealing with playing out the tragedy in my head. We had staff members that were taking the counseling themselves so they would be able to say like, I myself am doing this counseling, so this was where I went. And that's why we're able to help the community, because we ourselves are going through it. We're seeking the counseling, we're getting the support from the community. We're attending the events that are happening here in Uvalde.
The staff here, they provided her a tablet so she can do her virtual therapy instead of us having to go to San Antonio. So they saved us gas money, they saved up trips, they saved, her PTS going up. So today being here is her second time out in public.
I ended up taking off a whole month after that situation. Almost a week after the incident had happened, and Pearl had called and she was like, whatever you need, we can help. And that's when I told her, I've been out of work for, a little while and I don't know how I'm gonna do it. And she was like, we can help you with food. That's not a problem. And I'm very grateful for it, because without that, I don't know where it could have gone.
We're gonna get through it. It's gonna take a long time. But we're here to serve and teach and get these children ready for their forever life and change families for the next forever generations. And we're going to do that. We also are going to be sensitive to however long it takes as we move through the ramifications and consequences of this tragedy.
So with the situation that happened, I know that Cplc took a big role in trying to help these families.
No, absolutely. We had to. It hit us directly very hard. 4 of the children that were impacted by this tragedy were related to our staff, and an additional 4 that were impacted by this tragedy were graduates of our program, right? So we knew these kids. They were our kids. They're our kids. Once they're in our family, they're a part of our familia. So we're doing these events that was like in the video, to healing events, to give them opportunities to come out. We're providing any kind of support services. We're here for our community. We're going to be here for our community. We're going to stand up for them, and we're going to be stronger and be Uvalde strong with them together.
So today you're seeing Chicanos por la Causa in action. From Head Start programs to a high school inspiring tomorrow's leaders, to programs helping businesses to succeed. But we're not done yet. Cplc the musical? You won't want to miss this. Welcome back to Su Vida. We're standing in front of a very old house. It's the Montoya Jones structure, and it's one of the oldest buildings in Phoenix, and Cplc has played a key role in its preservance. Tell me a little bit about it.
Chicanos por la Causa decided to preserve this building. It's the oldest house in Phoenix proper, for the records, and it's a center point for development. It's bringing great services to the community, other nonprofits, and other services that really build up the community.
So let's talk about Verde in Gilbert.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's a partnership that we have with our partner investors from Mexico that we've been working on over the last few years. And it's a project that's inspired by a concept called 15-minute cities, where you try to bring in services for people inspired to walk from their houses versus getting in their car, right? So sustainability, supporting the environment, those types of things. But it's very exciting because there's going to be great services there, from great restaurants to medical services to other services, that everything you can think about other than a grocery store. But the good thing about where it's located, it's right across the street from where there's another center that has a large grocery store.
Nice. So we should open another development called Blanco and another one Rojo, and we'll be set with the Mexican
Orale, there we go.
counterparts we have.
I like it.
Hey, recently CPLC celebrated the grand opening of the Las Vegas Minority Business Development Agency. Let's take a look.
I'm super excited to be here. You know, it's been 12 years, and I remember coming to the first office we had more near the main strip. But we've come a long way, and we're here, and people know that we're here to help everybody.
The services that we're able to provide here is we actually offer workforce, we offer housing, you know, whether it be acquisition or whether it be credit counseling, down payment assistance, we offer all that.
I came into the home buying process with no idea what I was going into, and I loved that they brought in professionals from every step of the way. So they had a professional that helped with credit counseling and gave a brief overview of the way to clean up your accounts and raise your credit score. They had realtors, they had contractors to tell you what to look for during your walkthrough and what to expect when you make an offer.
And we also offer SBA lending, which has been a huge piece for us, right? And so today you're going to be celebrating not only the grand opening and the ribbon cutting for the office, you're going to be celebrating the grand opening and ribbon cutting for the MBDA Center.
The Minority Business Development Agency centers are geared towards supporting minority-owned businesses that are at a revenue point of about $500,000 or more to help them with access to capital, contracts, new market opportunities, matchmaking, really to help their businesses grow and thrive and take things to the next level.
I'm very excited about our progress here in Nevada, but here today to see all the partners here in Nevada, Congresswoman Titus and Congressman Horchford, we're here, but we don't do anything without partners, so we're very happy to see them. And then we had the leader of the Minority Business Development Agency from the Department of Commerce.
As an extension of your CDFI, you have close ties to the Treasury Department. You know, both the Treasury Department and the Department of Commerce are working in programs together, and we want to make sure that what we do in DC is also reflected here in Las Vegas and in Nevada. So I see this as a win-win. We need to add more capacity to your success. We need to give you new tools and bring you into new networks so that you can expand and continue to do the great work that you have been doing.
I thought it was wonderful that CPLC provided a free home buying class to help first-time home buyers be more comfortable with buying versus renting in this market.
It's a beautiful day here in Nevada, and we're so proud to be 12 years here in Nevada. We're calling this our forever home, and from here it's like the base of the tree, the root, and the branches are going to continue, and that's why we're going to get to 1 million people.
1, 2, 3.
David, that is so awesome that you guys are helping the small business economy in Las Vegas.
Absolutely. You know, Latinos are the largest cohort of communities starting new businesses, entrepreneurs. So we need to be there for community, and that's what we're about, economic empowerment.
And the cool part about all this, along with that, what you're doing is CPLC has branched into a totally new fund direction by telling the dreamer story and funding Americano, the musical. Let's take a look.
I am a dreamer.
Americano is the story based off of my life, my political journey.
For that dream.
We paved the way. Hey, Demolition Day.
It is the human experience of growing up, believing in the country, and having some closed doors, but still finding a way to serve our community and most importantly contribute back to the country.
As an immigrant, as an American, as a journalist, was to see these people who by all intents and purposes were considered disenfranchised, marginalized, really take control of their narratives and say, no, we're going to play by our own rules. And if change is going to happen, it has to come from within.
This is my home.
I was adopted, brought from Colombia, and I really try to understand what it could have been like for me if I didn't have that opportunity, if I didn't have the great gift of being adopted into an American family. And that is probably only a tiny speck of what the pain that this individual had endured.
We have good people, great people, strong people in our community that don't give up, and that's what the story about Tony Valdivino is about. Even though his dream of being a Marine was taken away from him, he didn't stop. And it just moved me personally. I have immigration issues within my own family, and it just moved me to say, you know what, this is something special, and I think there's something here that the world needs to see.
We are your daughters and mothers.
And then there's people through no fault of their own who aren't American, who are brought to the United States and now have to deal with these issues. And there's still thousands of Tonys out there that need our help. So we're helping support that to make sure that they finish college and university. These young kids come and you'll find out watching the play, they just want a piece of that American dream. And why can't they have that?
We're excited about the possibility of changing the narrative and really winning folks over to say these people deserve a chance. They deserve a chance to be part of this great country of ours. We've done the traditional forms of advocacy. We've met with our elected officials. We've talked to them about the issue of Dreamers. But now let's take it directly to the people.
To have them come, this organization come, believe in our story, believe in the power of the arts and theater to change people's minds, to expose them to something that has been around them for a long time, but maybe they never allowed themselves to see it.
The feedback that I've been hearing sometimes when I do leave the stage door is just the gratitude that people have for just giving them the opportunity to be educated on a topic that has not been so forthright on the line.
Very cool. So David, maybe next time you can send me a cast. You know, I'll check my emails and all that stuff so I can be the star of the show again.
Absolutely. Just a little testing on the singing and we'll go it.
Okay, well with that being said, I want to thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you so much for the support you show to Vida and the continued success of Cplc throughout these 50+ years.
Thank you, JR. You know, we love doing the show. We love having you as our host and appreciate everything you do for the community.
I try. Until then, David and I will see you on the next
Su Vida.
All right, so let's talk about this musical thing.